Hey, what's up, guys? It's Lewis Beasley from lewisbeasley.com, youtube.com/streamlewis, and pcaddicts.com. Whatever .com channel and site you can find me on. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the importance of mixing your audio on a pair of studio monitors versus your average house speakers. There is a difference. There's a big difference. And you're going to want to watch this entire video to fully understand what that difference is and why. I'll be back. So before we actually dive deep into the difference between the two types of speakers, it's important that we understand some of the basic differences and even the key point difference that should determine why you should buy studio monitors versus your regular monitors. Most house speakers require an external amplified source for transferring sound from a specific source to the speakers. For example, when you connect a speaker wire from the back of the speaker to the back of the receiver, it allows electricity and sound to pass from the receiver to the speaker. Now, not all, but many of the more common studio monitors utilize a power cable to power the built-in amplifier on the back of the speaker, and a larger 1/4 inch or XLR cable to transfer the sound from the specific source to the studio monitors. More importantly, the biggest difference is the quality of sound between the two types of speakers. Studio monitors are designed to sound natural and flat. The average house speaker is designed to sound as good as possible. The speakers are EQ'd in such a way that requires the low, mid, and high frequencies to be manipulated to sound as good as possible. Now, in English terms, if the speaker sounds like it does not have enough bass or too much bass, or perhaps not enough mid-range or too much treble, or maybe too much mid-range and not enough treble. Whatever the case may be, the manufacturer of that speaker tweaks how the speaker sounds until it produces the best sound possible. So now you have a great sounding speaker that has been altered to sound better than its natural state. But Lewis, isn't that the ultimate goal, to mix on a great sounding speaker so you can mix on a great sounding speaker? Well, no. Okay, for example, let's say you go out to dinner and you meet this really nice lady, okay? In fact, not only nice, but she looks extremely nice. So you're sitting there having dinner, eating your whatever it is that you're eating, and you realize this pretty lady, she can have blonde hair, brown hair, black hair, whatever the case may be. She has real pretty long hair, right? And you're looking at her, you're like, wow. I have to speak to this woman. I mean, she's beautiful. And you realize she don't have a wedding ring on her finger, so that's even more great, right? So you walk over and you talk to her and you ask her to have dinner with you. So she comes to your table, sits down, and she's telling you about her life, and you're sharing your life with her, and things are going great. And you look at her eyes and like, man, this woman has the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. Her hair smells nice. I mean, just everything about her is perfect. So she says, hey, you know what? Let me take you back to my house so we can have dessert. So you go back to her house and have dessert, sit down on the couch, and she goes down the hallway into the bathroom to change into something a little more comfortable, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of peek down the hallway because the door is left open, all right? The door is left open and you peeking down the hallway and you can pretty much see what she's doing. But you realize something. You realize that the state of this woman's appearance is starting to change, all right? She takes her hand up and she takes off some hair. I mean, a lot of hair. And you realize the woman's bald-headed and she got maybe a scar in the center and one cornrow on the right-hand side. Maybe you can deal with that. But then she does something else, right? She reaches behind her back and pulls these pads out from her behind area and she sets them on the counter. And you realize, man, this girl got some pancakes. You know what I'm talking about, right? All right, things are starting to change a little bit. But she's not done yet. She takes off these long eyelashes she has, right? And even some fake lips, she takes them off. And to make it a little bit more worse, she reaches down her shirt and takes off these two padded things and set them on the counter. Now, there's a problem here. One, what you originally saw is not the original woman that you originally saw. Well, it is the original woman that you saw, but she was enhanced when you were paying attention to her. Now that you're paying close attention to her, it's not the same woman. And to make a long story short, she comes and sits down on the couch beside you and starts talking. And her breath stinks. And she got a hole in her sock. And she leans over to kiss you. And you're like, ah! Heck Oh, hey! You get my point? My point is, the average house speaker is designed and made to make just about anything sound good. The speaker has already been altered and designed to sound great. So when you record an audio, that recorded source is naturally flat sounding. The goal is to take that flat sound and tweak it and EQ it so it sounds clean and professional. If you're mixing audio on house speakers and your recorded sound needs more bass or treble, you're not going to hear what the sound source really needs because the house speakers you're mixing on are lying to you. They've actually been designed to boost the intended frequencies. So your mix may sound good on those specific speakers, but when you go play the same mix in another source, such as a car or your friend's house, it's going to sound totally different. You're then going to realize the speakers you've been mixing on are big liars. The idea here is to invest in a pair of good quality flat studio monitors. They have been designed to mirror our natural hearing, very flat sounding. You can then take your flat sounding recordings, alter and EQ the audio until it sounds professional. Then you can take that mix that you just made sound so good on really flat monitors and place it in whatever stereo you wish. It's going to sound good on just about any system depending on the quality of your mix. Again, the goal here is to mix in a flat, natural sounding state, and then when you go put it in an enhanced system, it will sound just as great. Again, depending on your mix. So let's recap. Your average house speakers color the sound in such a way that it makes anything played sound good. This prevents you from being able to hear the actual needs of your mix. Secondly, you need to invest in a good quality pair of flat sounding studio monitors. And last but not least, practice on getting your mixes to sound great through a pair of studio monitors so that when it's played in other systems, it will sound just as good with consistency. I hope this was actually beneficial to some of you guys. Again, I see a lot of people trying to mix on average speakers, and truthfully, your mixes are not going to turn out great. And in many cases, they won't even turn out good because they're only going to sound good on those speakers that you're mixing on. Mix on a good pair of quality monitors, studio monitors. And then once you get it sounding good in a flat environment, it's going to sound just as great in an enhanced environment. Till next time, I will see you guys on the next one. Sound you later. Peace.